You know, something I noticed. Every time Errol Spence Jr. does something that people are doubting him, like when he does something that people doubt he could do, they always start to move the goalposts, right? First, when he came back from the car accident, Errol's nothing but a drunk. Danny Garcia's going to expose him. Danny going to hit him with something he ain't never been hit before. He ain't never been in there in a ring with a guy like Danny. Danny going to crack him with some shit he ain't going to see coming and get him up out of there. Don't be surprised if Danny pulls off the upset. When Errol goes in there and beats Danny worse than anybody ever has beaten Danny, batters Danny up, then it's, oh, Errol wasn't that really, he didn't look that good. Danny ain't never been nobody. Danny ain't been nothing but a C-level fighter, a C-level competition guy. He ain't never beat nobody he was supposed to beat, so on and so forth, right? But before the fight, Danny was a formidable opponent. He was a formidable foe. He's somebody that Errol Spence Jr. possibly could lose to. He's a guy that could possibly pull off the upset. He's a guy that could hurt Errol Spence Jr. But when it didn't happen, now Danny ain't shit. He ain't never been shit. He ain't never gonna be shit, right? Okay, right? Let's move on from Danny Garcia. Yordenis Ugas comes up, right? And when we get this unification bout, I'm looking at all these different guys who are Errol Spence haters. I'm watching all their videos, and I really like to see what people are going to say, what people's opinions are on fights. I'm that type of guy. I like to see what people are thinking. I'm looking at all the Errol Spence hater videos. All their videos is shit. Ugas might go in there and whoop Errol ass. Ugas a slick Cuban fighter. He's great at counter punching. He might hit Errol with some shit he ain't going to see coming. Errol going to get taxed up. Ugas is the bigger guy. He might walk Errol ass down. Errol ain't going to be ready for a slick fighter like this. Errol ain't never been in a ring with a guy as slick as Yordenis Ugas. He beat Sean Porter. Yordenis Ugas really beat Sean Porter, and Errol struggled with Sean Porter. So I'm not going to be surprised if he go in there and kick Errol's ass, right? Now, after the fight, Yordenis Ugas was never that good like that. He beat an old Manny Pacquiao. What the fuck that means? Because if anybody else outside of Errol Spence or Errol Spence's main opponent would have beaten Manny Pacquiao, he would have gotten all the credit in the world. And y'all gave Ugas credit for beating Manny Pacquiao at first. But now since Errol Spence whooped Yordenis Ugas' ass, gave him a commissary style, a penitentiary style ass whooping, now Ugas was never that special. He was never that good. He got lucky against Manny Pacquiao. Manny Pacquiao couldn't train for him. Ugas ain't never been able to he ain't had no crack in his punches. Ugas is nothing but a stationary target. But before the fight, Ugas was special. Ugas could move. Ugas could count. He was a slick fighter. He could do all these different things, right? Now, Ugas ain't shit. You see what I'm saying? Moving the goalpost. Before the fight, Ugas was something Errol better watch out for. Now, when Errol stops the dude, breaks him down systematically, oh, Ugas just stopped. He stopped throwing punches. The fight was fixed. It was fixed. Cut the bullshit. That fight wasn't no damn fix. You can't fix a guy getting their orbital bone broken like that. You cannot plan for that. Right? Nobody gonna sit there and get their orbital bone broke. He would have just failed and would have been a phantom punch, or he would have just let him get a good little crack in and it would have been over with like that. He wouldn't have sitting and taken that type of abuse. The abuse Yordenis Ugas took, gonna have him, I know it had him pissing blood for several days. Pissing blood for several days. Yordenis Ugas wouldn't have voluntarily put himself in a hospital for that shit. Hell no. He wanted to be the one fighting Terrence Crawford to get that mega bread, especially coming from Cuba, from what he overcame. He wasn't gonna lay down for nobody. That was a thorough ass whooping, right? Oh, Ugas stopped throwing. You know why he stopped throwing? Because he got gunshot after Errol busted up that eye. He was scared for that eye to keep getting touched up, so he got gunshot. He also got gunshot because Errol was breaking down that body, wearing that body down so much. At some point, he was like, shit, I'm going to shell up. I'm scared to throw because I'm going to leave myself open and susceptible to all these body shots from a guy who lives at going to the body. He didn't want that type of pressure from Errol Spence. I've been watching boxing enough to know what happens, right? When a guy and people are like, oh my God, Ugas couldn't even move like that. He was a stationary target. You know why? When you hitting the sides of that body, wearing that body down, hitting around that area, them legs start to stiff up. They start to get like it's cement in their feet, where they can't move as elusively as they once could, right? But I'm seeing y'all say, oh, the fight was fixed. Ugas just stood right there. Oh no, Errol made him stand right there. He made him get shell up. He made him stop throwing. Yordenis Ugas made a business decision. Am I going to stand and trade with a guy who's going to keep clipping me, who's going to keep coming through my guard with an uppercut, or am I going to shell up to protect this eye that he already busted up, to make sure I survive, to get to other rounds, to at least make it to the end, or at least try to shell up and then sneak in some counter punches to where, you know, I can make something shake, right? And then if it was fixed, why the fuck would Yordenis Ugas hit Errol Spence when a mouthpiece come out? Why would he risk possibly hurting Errol Spence and knocking him out if it was fixed? That don't make sense. But here y'all go, trying to act like you don't want to give Errol Spence credit for a win against a guy who, when I looked in that ring, I'm looking at Ugas. Ugas was bigger than Errol. Clearly. And he refused to be walked down at first. So Errol said, you know what? You don't want to be walked down? I'm going to break your big ass down and walk you down. The way I'm going to make you allow, I'm going to allow you, so I'm going to make you allow this to happen, right? I'm not going to get your permission. You're going to allow this after I put a beating on that body and wear it down to where your feet, you're not as swift as you once was. And then you're scared. You're shelling up because you don't want to get hit to that body or bang to that eye, right? But I promise y'all, if this was any other fighter, and I know what crowd this is coming from. You know, I keep telling all these people, you don't have to be an Errol Spence fan. You don't have to hate Terrence Crawford. To be a Terrence Crawford fan, you don't have to hate Errol Spence. You can give guys credit for their fights. Now, look, I didn't like the early stoppage from Sean Porter's father, Kenny Porter, but I told y'all I understood that, and Bud got full credit for that shit because ain't nobody ever made Kenny Porter throw in that towel the way Terrence Bud Crawford did. That let me know he knew his son was in trouble. He was scared of Terrence's punching power. He felt like his son was going to potentially get finished and hurt worse than he ever did in his career. So he made the decision because he know his son is in there and he don't want his son to get hurt. And for that, Terrence Crawford deserves full credit for that because he got the stoppage, right? He did something that nobody else was able to do. Get Kenny Porter to retreat and say, I'm going to throw in this white flag. My son does not want, he don't need to take no more of that punishment. He don't need to take no more damage from that man right there, right? So I believe the same should be done for Errol Spence Jr. Don't try to take credit away from him. Give Errol credit. Yeah, it was a doctor stoppage because that eye was going to be lost if Errol kept pounding on it like he was going to do, right? Don't try to take away from, oh, Ugas wasn't really nothing and all of that. Because I guarantee you, if Bud would have fucked Ugas up, they would have been like, oh my God, Bud is special. I told y'all, Bud is something spectacular. If Bud would have gave the same performance as Errol, it would have been nothing but claps and applause and so on and so forth. It would have been nothing but tipping your hat to him and all that. It would have been nothing but that, right? But now because it's Errol Spence Jr., he don't get credit for that. Ugas was nothing special. He was just a seat fighter with a belt. All that shit, no. Y'all wasn't calling him a seat fighter when he beat Manny Pacquiao, right? Y'all wasn't calling him a seat fighter when he could have, when you thought he could potentially beat Errol Spence Jr., when you thought he could embarrass Errol in his own hometown, right? But when Errol gave Ugas that ass whooping in his backyard, now you want to retreat and act like, oh, he wasn't that good in the first place. Cut the bullshit. Y'all know that dude could fight. Y'all know he's skilled. You just don't want to give Errol credit now because you thought it was going to go another way and it didn't. So now you trying to walk this shit back and act like, oh, Ugas was never, fuck out of here, y'all. And y'all know what channels I'm talking about. I ain't got to say no names. Y'all, I know how they get down. Now they trying to take the win away. Oh, Ugas said he ain't do nothing. He ain't do nothing because Errol made his ass stop doing something. That's what a great fighter does. Make you submit. Take you away from doing the things that you like to do in order for you to behave the way I want you to behave so I can keep whooping that ass. That's what a fighter does. So all of that, you know, oh, Errol ain't do nothing spectacular and special. I guarantee y'all, I fucking guarantee y'all, if Bud would have gave the same performance, it would have been cricket. It would have not been crickets. It would have been, oh, Bud deserves all praises to everybody for that, right? And as he should have deserved praises if Bud would have delivered a performance like Errol, as he should have. Right? But we can applaud a guy for giving a great performance. We don't have to diminish it or try to take away from the win. Oh, the dude ain't nothing now because the guy you wanted to win didn't win. So now he ain't shit and he ain't nothing. No. So keep that same energy. He was a great fighter before the fight. He was something special. He was a guy that was capable of getting of pulling off the upset. Keep that same energy. Don't switch up now. Don't switch up now. Don't act funny now. Don't jump ship now. Y'all said dude was the man before. Why you changing up now? It's because you didn't think that Errol Spence Jr. was going to be the same fighter. You didn't think he was going to give the performance that he gave. You thought Ugas was going to go in there and give Errol a world of trouble, a whole heap of trouble. And the shit didn't turn out the way you thought it was going to, the way you thought it was going to turn out. God damn it, man. That's all that shit is, man. You can't fool me. I know what this about, man. You know what I'm saying? You just want to discredit that boy at every turn. Oh, now he's still a drunk. He still ain't did shit. Nah, fuck that. Give that boy that credit. Give that man that credit, man. Especially all the stuff the boy done been through with the torn retina and all of that, the car accident and all of that. You can say, oh, the car accident was self-inflicted. The torn retina, now you don't want to give a boy credit, right? I heard people say, oh, he was scared of Manny Pacquiao and he ducked him. The fuck? Let me tell you something right now. As great as Manny Pacquiao is, as great of a fighter as he is, and how quick he is, and so on and so forth, the way Ugas beat Manny and the way Errol looked against Ugas, I know for a fact Errol would have fucked Manny up. Would have sent Manny into retirement. I don't care what they're talking about. And I love Manny Pacquiao. Excellent fighter, a great champion. But the Errol that I saw, the way he put on that onslaught, especially an older Manny Pacquiao, oh my God, Errol would have sent Manny into retirement too, and in worse fashion. He might have had Manny out there laid out like Juan Manuel Marquez did. He just might have done that. You know what I'm saying? But then Errol wouldn't have got no credit for that because y'all would have just said he was old. But you gave Ugas all the credit in the world for whooping Manny. But now you're trying to take the credit away and call Manny old because Ugas wasn't able to do what you wanted him to do, which was pull off the upset against Errol Spence. I'm on to y'all channels, man. You can't fool your boy. You can't fool me, baby. I done seen it all. I know what y'all on. That's bullshit, man. Get that boy that credit for that win, man. Machiavelli Mills TV, I'm out. Peace.